Good evening. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the show tonight, the Prime Minister was in Morbi in Gujarat today, where more than 135 people, including more than 40 children between the ages of 2 and 18, died when the colonial-era bridge that they were on collapsed and they fell into the Machu River. Today, there was widespread criticism of the Gujarat government, with many asking why the hospital where the Prime Minister visited injured victims had to be spruced up ahead of the visit of the VVIP. But more than anything else, it's the intense human suffering that needs to be reported. Entire families which were wiped out. What's more, there are reports that the families of people who are missing have been coming in, albeit in small numbers, from across the country to file missing persons reports, which means the actual and final death toll may still be unclear.
Vishnu, I right now have a family with me. A mother who is absolutely inconsolable. She lost her husband and two of her kids, one daughter and one son. The daughter was 9-year-old and the son was 7-year-old. It was an outing. It was a family outing for them on Sunday. They were on the bridge. Bridge collapsed. All of them fell straight into the river. The mother was saved, but the doctors could not save the father and the two kids. मैं आपसे बहुत सबसे पहली बात माफ़ी चाहूँगी इस वक्त पे मुझे आपके पास आके ऐसे सवाल में आपसे बहुत माफ़ी चाहूँगी, पर बहुत ज़रूरी है कि जिम्मेदारी सरकार उनको सज़ा दे. वो असली मरहम होगा, सरकार उनको सज़ा दे जो जिम्मेदार हैं. आप
मेरा छोकरा मेरी छोकरी सब चले गए. अब मैं अकेली,
एक लड़की
लड़का है घर वाला. अब मैं अकेली वो पूरे करूँ. हम दोनों का कौन सहारा.
आप पेट से हैं.
पर मैं नहीं गई, चक्कर आ रहे थे इसलिए मैं नहीं गई. मैं वहाँ खड़ी थी. मैं खड़ी थी वहाँ, टूटा था अब, और मैं चक्कर आया तो नहीं गई. अब मेरा सहारा कौन, हमारा कौन, हमारा सहारा सब चले गए.
દીકરો લડકી દીકરો મારો મોટો દીકરો તને ગયો. મારી મમ્મી અખબાર આવે છે, પેન્શન છે એ નો ગઈ. એ બતાડે ગયા બુઢી ગયા, વયા ગયા બિચારા. એની મમ્મી એના પપ્પા
અમારા સસરા છે, કોઈ નથી બીજું. સાસુ સસરા છે, મા બાપ છે, બીજું કોઈ નથી. परिवार चला गया. अब किसके सहारे रहूंगी. अब हम दोनों किसके सहारे रहते. हमें बेखियाँ लेसी हवे बीजा बजा वया गया. हमारा घरवाला, छोकरी, हमारा छोकरो बधाई तरण बूढ़ी गया.
दीदी बहुत बहुत मुश्किल समय है और मैं आपसे हाथ जोड़ के सबसे पहले माफ़ी चाहूँगी कि मुझे ऐसे समय पे आना पड़ रहा है. हम लोग आपके साथ हैं. हम लोग पूरी कोशिश करेंगे जितना आप लोग को जो भी मुआवजा हो पाए. अगर इस वक्त पे अगर आपकी आवाज़ पूरा देश सुन सकता है, अगर आप कुछ भी सरकार से मांगना चाहेंगी. प्रधानमंत्री यहाँ आए थे, आपका कुछ भी मांग है.
मांगा सब चले गए. अब मैं हम क्या मांगेंगे. तो तू अगले सो मांगे.
Just sitting here, makes me choke, because this kind of a tragedy, Vishnu, we have never, the country hasn't witnessed in the recent times. And this is a mother who is pregnant. Vishnu, she is pregnant right now. She told me that she was in her house because she was not feeling too well, and the father and the kids went to the bridge as a family outing. All three of them fell straight into the river and died in this massive tragedy. And the family is also telling me on record, Vishnu, that they haven't received a single penny of the compensation amount from the government. and they are saying that they have lost everything. They have lost their entire family due to the criminal negligence of the authorities and the government. And what are they going to do with the compensation money, even if they receive it anyway? And they are also telling me a very important thing, which is important here to note, Vishnu, that nobody from the ruling government has come and visited the family as of yet. Some of the local leaders from other parties have come, but nobody from the Bharatiya Janata Party ruling government have come to visit the family. I'll again tell you, Vishnu, that she is the mother. She is pregnant. She was there in her house on Sunday when the father with two of his kids, one was 9-year-old, the daughter was 9-year-old, and the son was 7-year-old. All three of them went to the bridge. They bought a 17 rupees ticket, and that was a family outing for them on a Sunday, on a casual normal Sunday. And the family the mother could have never imagined in her wildest dreams that she's never going to see her family members again. And it's a completely tragic situation, Vishnu. And it's extremely difficult to even ask these questions to this family, which are absolutely inconsolable.
Just horrific scenes over there. Well, joining us now, Prasanna Kumar, the NDRF, the National Disaster Relief Force Commandant, overseeing operations over there. Thank you very much, Mr. Kumar, for being with us. Are operations to retrieve bodies essentially over at this stage?
Actually, it is not yet completed. Actually, we are expecting one or two more dead bodies maybe on the floor of the river. So that's why we are still continuing the search operations.
Mr. Kumar, there are also some reports that people have started coming in from different parts of the country, for example, relatives of migrants who may be missing. Now, as I understand it, the numbers are small. But the reason I'm asking is there a real sense that we still don't know the final number of people who've died?
Actually, the efforts put by our deep divers as well as Indian Navy divers, if there is many more number of dead bodies are there, missing persons are there, it could have get over by now.
I see.
But early morning, today morning to till now, our teams are continuously searching for these bodies with the help of deep divers, but not a single dead body recovered from today. It shows that there may not be one or two dead bodies, or there may not be more dead bodies on the floor of the river.
Mr. Kumar, have all of these bodies been retrieved from one area by and large? Is there no fear of bodies having been washed downstream?
Actually, if you see the water, this is stagnant water. The water flow is absolutely zero.
I see.
So that is the reason I can confidently tell that there may not be more dead bodies on the floor of the river.
And sir, was the river very deep, where a large number of people fell? Because as I understand it, the edges of the river, the banks of the river obviously had fairly shallow water. And a lot of people died because of their injuries on the shallow end, whereas there were perhaps more survivors in the middle. Is that correct?
Not like that. In the middle of the water depth is 15 to 20 feet only, not more than that. So actually our divers as well as Indian Navy divers can easily reach the floor of the river. That is the major reason that dead bodies may not be more than one or two.
Right, and that's actually an important point. And that actually explains, the injuries which people receive, perhaps not those who fell in the center of the river, but on the sides. As far as the sides of the river are concerned, or the sides of the bridge as it were, what was the depth of the water where some of these people who fell and have been injured and have survived, what was the depth on the sides, near the bank, on both sides?
Even the sides of the river is also not more than 10 feet. Because if you yesterday also our people easily walk with the help of these rubber tubes and our life jackets. So the depth is not that much.
So the reason I ask is, would that lead you to conclude that people who fell near the edges perhaps died of their injuries and they didn't drown?
Actually, because the floor of the river is full of these rocks and this thing. That is the main reason. Because of the floor, the rocks are there. That's why they got injuries, and due to this, their deaths were occurred.
Sir, just one or two more questions. Do you at this juncture have any idea of how many people were actually on the bridge?
Actually, I don't have any idea, but as per information received from civil administration, there may be 300 to 400 people were on the bridge during the incident time.
Mr. Kumar, visibility in stagnant water, which is also muddy, is very difficult. So can you describe the conditions which your rescuers and also the Navy rescuers, same conditions, encountered under the water? Because visibility is difficult. Therefore, finding bodies is also difficult. It's challenging.
Actually, that is true. The visibility is very less because of the quality of the water. However, day before yesterday night, we used this ultra modern remote operated vehicle that is underwater camera and searched the entire area. So, and we are also using sonar systems also. That is the reason, with the help of this equipment, we are trying to sort out the problem.
So therefore, sir, the final question to you, the reason you say one or two more people are missing, is that because members of some teams have seen bodies, or they think they've seen bodies, or are you sort of saying that this is a list that we have of people who we believe are missing, and two further individuals have not been recovered so far? On what basis are you saying that maybe one or two more people?
Because the figure is given by district administration, because they have the each and every records with them. They have the data with them. The district administration informed us that there may be one or two missing persons after analyzing various data available with them.
So they actually have a list of people who were on the bridge.
Most probably they have get the data from various authorities and police stations also regarding the missing complaints and other things.
I see.
So they have came to conclusion that one or two missing persons may be there.
All right. Well, Mr. Kumar, we've seen the NDRF in action in many parts of the country. I've covered you in Nepal during the earthquake there. An incredible force, and thank heavens that you were there, and of course the other rescuers of the Navy, of the Air Force, of the State Disaster Relief Force, the police as well, to ensure that, this process, which is so difficult, can actually carry on. Thank you, sir, very much for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, joining us now, Ajay Kumar of the Congress, Karuna Gopal of the BJP, Reena Gupta of the Aam Aadmi Party. Karuna Gopal, it's such a horrific tragedy that has taken place, and yet we saw some images, we saw video which people felt fairly disgusted about. For example, why did this hospital need to be spruced up? Why did water coolers need to be installed? Why were some parts painted over ahead of the visit of the Prime Minister? I mean, is it Shosha that we are interested in, or just the Prime Minister reaching out to people who are hurt?
Well, Vishnu, I think nobody was particularly happy looking at that. But I think in this particular discussion, to even focus on trivia like that is also quite a useless thing. As you know, whenever a senior person or a senior politician, especially in this case the Honorable Prime Minister, is visiting the hospital, then they are bound to do something on those lines. Maybe they're trying to save their skin, and most of the government setups, as you know, across the country, notwithstanding Gujarat or any other place, you do find they are ill-equipped to a large extent. And sprucing up is something perhaps I was little concerned when I saw that, but it's like when you have a visitor, you quickly put things in place and you clean it up. Maybe they were trying to just make it look like a functional hospital. As far as a cooler and all that is concerned, I was just thinking maybe when there is an influx of patients, you try to get things in order. Like, it may not be functioning, but maybe they were trying to get it up to speed and maybe ensure that...
we fixed it after our report. But be that as it may, I want to go across to Ajay Kumar. I do tend to agree somewhat with what Karuna Gopal is saying, that in our country these things happen when VVIPs arrive. But I think the larger question that needs to be asked are twofold. Firstly, have the small fries in this case, the ticket collector, the security guard, these are people who've been arrested. The owners of this company have not been arrested. And secondly, isn't it up to the police or the district magistrate or the district administration to control the number of people who go over? I mean, how did this not happen?
Look, Vishnu, the tragedy is, I was listening to Karuna ji, the tragedy is, if you have a train accident, the equivalent of what the Gujarat government has done is to arrest the TT or the platform ticket seller. So it's actually what you're seeing in Gujarat is a theatre of the absurd. Seriously speaking, it's not trivial if the Prime Minister continues with his political program at a railway station and I don't know whether it's true, whether he changed his dress 3 times or not, but it's unfortunate for the looking from a sincerity perspective. I saw the day of the accident, the Prime Minister inaugurating that new railway line or something which was happening, and true to himself, the Prime Minister changed his dress 3 times. That's for him to decide, but not on this occasion. Firstly, it may be trivial, but it also shows the response of the government. The other issue is the audacity of the Gujarat and the centre and the state government or the BJP to brazen it out, and we all are to blame. We all have to see there. Because they say, look, hum kuch bhi kar lenge. We will do Hindu-Muslim and we'll come back to our, lowest common denominator, and so be it. So the issue is the audacity of filing FIR against, you gave it to a watch repair guy, the same company which makes that, which kills mosquitoes and all that, that electric SWAT, that tennis racket electrical SWAT machine. Now, so the larger question is, and it's very important whether it's not a question of politics. I saw some very shady Godi media anchors yesterday saying, were the people responsible, or let's not politicize it. Just wanted to remind you on what the Prime Minister said and what happened in Calcutta. It was an act of God. It was the corrupt government of Bengal. So the issue is, it's a man-made disaster, and the government of Gujarat is definitely responsible. But it's more than single incident. It's institutional corruption. There'll be more bridges. The way we're going this way, there are more people, and it's rampant across. Sometimes the accidents happen. I'll give you an example. Cyrus Mistry's, and it may not be related. On Cyrus Mistry's death in Gujarat, on that highway, there have been 60 more deaths. On the same stretch of highway. The fact is that the corruption and the dishonesty cuts across so badly, and they will brazen it.
No, Ajay, you have a point when you say that there is no value for life in this country. It's true. It's not about the BJP, Congress, or the Aam Aadmi Party. It's unfortunately the way things are. It's unfortunate.
Let me interrupt you for a second. It's not a question of BJP. It is a question of BJP. It is a question of the corrupt practice of the Bharatiya Janata Party government in Gujarat to give a contract to watchmen.
Okay, let me ask. I take that point. Let's bring that focus back in. Reena, just 1 second. Let Karuna answer this point.
No, Vishnu, you must allow me to speak, and then
I'll come to you next. But because he's made a point to the BJP, let her answer, and then I'll come to you.
I will also make points to BJP, Vishnu. Then there's no time left for
1
me.
second. There will be time. I promise you. Okay. All right. Just quickly reply to that 1 point before I go to Reena.
Yeah, so Vishnu, there's 2 points that I'd like to reply to. One is Mr. Ajay was talking about Prime Minister going on about with his duty even after he heard this disaster. Now, the same Congress will not question Yogi Adityanath, who went on addressing the COVID problem in spite of losing his mother. I mean, that's where were you at that time? You
no,
weren't
but let's
even
focus on
paying
Gujarat,
attention.
no?
So it is, you continue your work because
It
you
is
are
just more whataboutery that they keep doing, Vishnu. They don't deserve more time.
Rina, hold on. You'll get
No,
your
please.
chance. I just want to
Let
listen
me
to...
finish. The entire rescue team was deployed there and they were doing their duty.
No, but
so I think
the
that's very
question on
important.
accountability, of course, the rescue team, they weren't doing anybody any favor. That they were just doing their job. But
Yeah, they were
it's
doing
not
their
about the
job
rescue teams. It's about accountability, which everybody is asking.
No, I think Vishnu, there is a small important thing that I'd like to say. Cyrus also was mentioned, but let me at this point in time say that it is not just BJP government, but technically all these things happen every time. Like for instance in Mumbai, I remember the CTBUH is Center for Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat, cautioned Mumbai saying 40,000 buildings are going to collapse.
That's an answer.
They never bothered. That is human negligence.
it happened over there, it's happened over here. So
Hyderabad
because
too,
it
it
happened
happened
over here,
floods.
somehow it justifies what has happened over here.
No,
I mean,
it doesn't
happened there,
justify.
then, I mean,
It
is that
doesn't
not a false
justify.
equivalence, ma'am?
When
Is
you
that not a
point-
false equivalence?
When you point fingers and repeatedly go on saying that this is, this government is culpable, then I'd like to say that it's a very generic thing. It is
All
a
right.
generalized thing.
Okay.
So nobody can be defended. You cannot defend the indefensible. That is the company and also the
Right.
municipality.
I think that's what I think people were asking. But Rina, go ahead.
Vishnu, what has happened in Morbi is a murder. It is not some accident, and I say this with great responsibility. If you look at the behavior of the government before awarding the contract and after that, number one, why was this contract awarded without any tendering process to a company that had no experience? Number two, the MD of this company, in full limelight with senior BJP leaders present, inaugurated this bridge. So the whole city of Morbi, or the town of Morbi, which is a very small town, everybody knew. How is it possible that the Nagar Nigam and the police did not know? Number three, there have been 22 SITs formed in the past 5 years of Gujarat, in Gujarat. Not a single person has been held accountable. So even now, when you're forming another SIT, the SIT is actually going to probe the Urban Development Ministry, which is held by the Chief Minister. So, does Bharatiya Janata Party think that the people of this country are naive, that we expect this SIT to come out with anything against their own masters and their own supremos? I'm very sorry to say that this investigation needs to be led by a retired Supreme Court justice. Only then we will see anybody being held accountable.
Well, it's gone to the Supreme Court, Rina. Let's see what the Supreme Court actually has to say. There's a PIL before the Supreme Court.
Yes, there is a PIL, but also, Vishnu, did you see yesterday when every Karyakarta of Aam Aadmi Party was helping in rescue operations, the Health Minister of Gujarat was partying, was making merry for his birthday celebration. He was doing happy birthday on camera. So this is the attitude of Bharatiya Janata Party, and this is not the first time, Vishnu. If you remember, during Mr. Vijay Rupani's time also, a contract for ventilators was given to his friend, again on a single source basis. Faulty ventilators were distributed all over the country. So many people died because of that. Was anybody held accountable for that? So I'm very sorry to say I have no confidence that anything will come out of SIT. We have already seen that, lower level security guards who are being, who have been arrested.
Right.
The companies, MDs have not even been named
I've
in the
mentioned
FIR.
that point. I've mentioned that, Rina, but I think it's only fair that Karuna has a chance to respond to this. The point I think people have been making is that you're choosing to brazen it out. Where is the accountability? Why not immediately announce that there'll be a judge, a retired judge, who actually looks at this? Why not actually make statements?
One last point, Vishnu, and then
Why
Karuna can
not make
answer.
statements
They
that...
should,
Yeah.
Bharatiya Janata Party should also come out and tell the citizens of this country how much of chanda and donation has this company given to Bharatiya Janata Party.
All right,
for the
okay.
election.
So questions on this company. What is their USP in having carried out this project? They make watches. They make mosquito swatters. Why this project? And they sublease this project, right? I mean, how did that even happen? Karuna?
Yeah, perhaps it happened the same way it happens in many other states. First of all, it started out by being a watchmaking company. Now today, if you were to ask me what Wipro started out by being, Wipro was a soap making company. So they will diversify. I am not supporting the company, but I am giving you an explanation that there could be a diversification. Nobody would be so dumb to award a contract to a company that has least bit of competence in doing that. Perhaps what happened is definitely not a good thing, and a lot of things have gone wrong there. I mean, a bridge that could take only 150 people, 350 people were allowed to go there. So obviously there are, it's a layered problem, many things went wrong. Now as far as the AAP leader talking about Gujarat and focusing only on Gujarat, ma'am, I'd like to remind you that there were flyover crashes in Delhi. And there were...
There have been no flyover crashes in Delhi, ma'am, sorry. You're not allowed to lie on national TV. No one flyover crash has happened in Delhi in the last 7 years. Not a single flyover crash. Please, I will not allow you to lie on national TV.
You should go back and check your own governance model.
I have gone back. I am part of the government since the time the government was formed. No flyover crashes happened. You should answer for the 27 years of your rule in Gujarat, that you don't even have a decent district hospital in Morbi. That you had to paint and you had to get water coolers just before the Prime Minister's visit.
I will not accept it. I will not accept an AAP leader talking about hospitals. Your mohalla clinics are a testimony to your incompetence. You have done nothing, zero. So let's not argue about it. Let's stay rooted to the point. We are talking about this particular incident, and you cannot generalize and say that
all right, well, let's see. Let's Ajay, I'm out of time. I apologize for that. Well, let's leave this debate. Ajay, I'm sorry, I'm out of time. Let's leave this. For the moment. And let's hope that there is genuine accountability at the end of the day. And let's spare a thought for the families of those who have lost so many.
कल से हमारी बॉडी ये वाले नहीं मिले अभी तक, नहीं मतलब कुछ भी लगा उसको ये वो वगैरह, अगर डेट हो गई है तो भी सामने लाओ ना।
अभी तो एक हमारी और औरत चली गई, हमें कुछ पता नहीं चलता कि हम लोग क्या आपको जवाब